There exists an ancient code that predates modern psychology by centuries. A system so precise it could forge serenity in chaos and courage in the face of death. For 800 years, it guided warriors through uncertainty, loss, and conflict. It was not a religion. It was a way of living, a blueprint for becoming unshakable. The world called it Bushido, the way of the warrior. But Bushido was never about war. It was about peace born through discipline. It wasn't about violence. It was about control. It was a philosophy for mastering the one battlefield that never disappears: the human mind. The samurai understood something that most people still haven't grasped. The hardest battle you will ever fight is not against another person. It is against yourself. Your hesitation, your fear, your comfort. Imagine living with a clarity so deep that no opinion could shake you. A courage so steady that even failure couldn't bend you. A peace so constant that chaos became your training ground. That is what Bushido offered. And those who lived by it became forces of nature, calm, decisive, unstoppable. You've been told that modern life is too complex, that discipline is outdated, that focus is impossible. But what if the answers have always been written in the ink of the past? The truth is that Bushido isn't history. It's a living system waiting to be practiced again. It holds 7 virtues that can still forge the strongest kind of human being. Not perfect, but aligned, balanced, and alive. Let's begin with the first. G. Absolute integrity. Most people don't fail because they lack skill. They fail because they betray their own principles when things get uncomfortable. The samurai called that a death of the spirit. Gai means that when you stand at the crossroads of right and wrong, you do not hesitate. You already know your path. You do not choose the easier road. You choose the true one, even when it hurts. When your code is clear, decision-making becomes effortless. You no longer live through excuses. You act through conviction. This is what gives a warrior peace, not comfort, but certainty. Write your principles down. Hang them where you can see them. Let them become the steel that holds your spine when the world tests your resolve. The second virtue is you. Courage. But not the kind the world romanticizes. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the refusal to let fear choose for you. The samurai didn't wait for confidence. They moved first, and confidence followed. They confronted death every morning so that life could not terrify them at night. They practiced loss to strip fear of its sting. Modern science calls this exposure therapy. The samurai called it liberation. They knew that fear grows in silence but shrinks when faced. Every day, do something small that frightens you. Speak your truth. Begin what you've been delaying. Enter the fire willingly, and soon the fire will no longer burn you. The third virtue is Jin, benevolence. Compassion is not weakness. It is power restrained. A sword without control destroys everything, but a sword guided by empathy builds kingdoms. A true warrior helps others rise because he no longer fears falling. Jin means using strength not for dominance but for harmony. Be kind not because the world deserves it, but because you've become too strong to be cruel. Mentor someone who has no guide. Be gentle when it costs you nothing. This is the mark of inner mastery. To protect without pride, to give without needing thanks. Compassion backed by strength is the highest form of discipline. Then comes respect. The modern world has forgotten this word. We respect power, money, and attention. The samurai respected life itself. They bowed before friend and enemy alike, not out of submission, but out of recognition. They saw the sacred in every soul. They understood that honor isn't earned through status, it's expressed through humility. Try this. For 1 week, treat everyone you meet as your equal in spirit. Speak to your elders with quiet reverence. Speak to the unseen workers who make your world function with gratitude. The world begins to change the moment you begin to see everyone as part of the same fabric. Respect brings alignment, and alignment breeds peace. The fifth virtue is Makoto, sincerity, truth in action. In a world where words are cheap, truth is revolutionary. A samurai's word was absolute. When he spoke, he committed his entire being. There was no maybe. There was only yes or silence. Modern people lose trust because they speak without intention. Every broken promise dulls the blade of your spirit. Speak less, mean more. Only promise what you are certain you will do. If you fail, take full responsibility. There is more honor in a humble apology than in 100 excuses. When you live with Makoto, you become rare, and rarity is power. Next is Meiyo, honor. The quiet discipline of living as if the entire world were watching even when no one is. The samurai asked themselves a single question every day. If I died tonight, would I die with peace? They lived so that the answer was always yes. Honor is not about recognition. It's about self-respect. When you live with integrity, you sleep without noise in your mind. You stop negotiating with your conscience. You stop seeking validation. You move through the world like a mountain, silent, unmoved, grounded in truth. The seventh virtue is Chuugi, loyalty. But Bushido teaches conscious loyalty, not blind obedience. You do not bow to people. You bow to principles. Loyalty to power is slavery. Loyalty to truth is liberation. Be loyal to your purpose, to your word, to those who walk the path with integrity. The moment loyalty demands you betray your core, walk away. Here lies the brilliance of Bushido. The 7 virtues are not separate rules. They are a living organism. Gi sharpens courage. Courage deepens compassion. Compassion gives birth to respect. Respect builds sincerity. Sincerity shapes honor. Honor sustains loyalty. Together they form the architecture of an indestructible mind. Modern neuroscience now echoes what the samurai practiced. People with clear principles have calmer nervous systems, lower anxiety, and greater emotional control. The reason is simple. When your values are strong, your mind doesn't waste energy on confusion. Bushido doesn't make life easy. It makes it clear, and clarity is the foundation of peace. Now take this as your challenge. Choose one virtue, just one. Live it for 30 days. Let it shape your decisions, your words, your thoughts. Then add another, and another. In a year, you will not recognize yourself. You will not need to chase motivation. You will move with purpose. Bushido is not about perfection. It's about returning to your center again and again, no matter how many times the world pulls you off balance. It's not about becoming a samurai. It's about remembering that within you lives the same fire that once guided them, a stillness that cannot be shaken, a courage that cannot be stolen, a spirit that cannot be broken. The sword you carry is your will, the battlefield is your mind, the code is your compass. Live by it, and you'll no longer be at war with life. You'll move with it, because mastery is not the absence of struggle, it's the grace with which you walk through it. Train your mind, master yourself, walk the dojo path.